Let the record reflect we've reconvened with all members present. Please rise for a very special Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a rendition, God Bless America. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, one with hope. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Excellent. Everyone may be seated, and we're going to shake up the agenda a little bit since the Brownies are all here. And they're going to do a little presentation, and then I'm going to come down and present them with something. And this is the Brownie Troop from St. Vincent's, and they're here to tell about a very special project that has made a difference in our community, or the greater community. And this is a good reminder that our town, our country, our world will be in good hands with the next generation.
Hi, my name is Isla Shoja. Hello, my name is Charlotte Striffler. Hi, my name is Charlotte Cletton. Hi, my name is Cassandra Besties. Hi, my name is Eliana Youssef. Hi, my name is Shannon Nagoski. Hi, my name is Ella Alaka. Hello, my name is Hannah Finger. Hi, my name is Juliana Sierra. Hi, my name is Madeline Carroll. Hello, my name is Charlotte Donnelly. Hi, my name is Ellie Jessen. Hi, my name is Nora Mannion. Hello, my name is Claire Palumbo. Hello, my name is Ava Clark.
What we can do for your presentation, if you want, you can stand here facing the audience, and we have a wireless mic that works very well.
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. We are Brownie Troop 6585 and are in the 3rd grade at St. Vincent Martyr School. We are really proud and excited to be here tonight to tell you about the things we have done to help the people in our community this year.
We love to help in our community because there are people who don't have what we have and are not as happy as we are. When we help the people who do kind deeds, we feel like we are giving more life to the families who are poor. And the more we help, the better we feel. Together, our troop has gone Christmas caroling at a home for the elderly and even made them snowflake ornaments for their Christmas trees. We also made goodie bags of fun toys and warm socks for sick children at the hospital to make them feel better. In January, we learned about the Interfaith Food Pantry that has a food store where people get the food they need for free. We decided to help the pantry get more food because people with no food depend on them, and if there isn't enough food at the pantry, they can't help the hungry. So we first asked all the students at SVMS to donate $1 to the pantry to wear their own clothes one day instead of our uniforms. Everyone wore orange to make others aware of people who are hungry. We were so proud that we collected $446 to donate to the pantry on that tag day. Then our troop spoke in the front of the whole school to ask them to bring in food for the pantry. During the food drive, our troop collected 350 pounds of food and other items. The pantry was so grateful, and we were excited to give so much to people who don't have what they need to live and be happy.
On Valentine's Day, we actually got to go to the pantry and see how it works. The pantry has a huge warehouse where they keep all the donations before the food goes on the shelves for the clients to bring home. We toured the warehouse and even made packets of tea and Oreo cookies for the pantry's clients. We learned so much at the pantry. We learned that clients are allowed to come once a month to get a week's worth of food. We learned that the pantry grows its own vegetables for the clients to take, and that the pantry has classes to teach its clients how to cook healthy food.
We also learned how much things like the house, car, and electricity costs, and how hard it is to pay bills when you don't have a job or make enough money. That's why the pantry is there to help give food so their clients can pay for all the other things they need to live. And we need to learn that the pantry helps hundreds of clients. This means the pantry needs a lot of food, but during the summer there is never enough food because there are not as many donations then. So I plan on focusing my donations in the summer when they are low on food. We enjoyed our trip to the pantry and hope to volunteer there again because it is great to give back to others. We plan on making more donations with our troop, school, and families. And we are so happy to know that our town, by doing its own food drive this winter, was helping the pantry too. We are thrilled that this spring our troop is also part of the Madison Into Yellow project. Our troop leaders told us that some people in our community don't always feel good about themselves, but that we could do something to bring a little happiness into their lives. We were ready to help. So each member of our troop painted a bright yellow flower. On the back of our flowers, we put a happy message that we hope will brighten the day of those who might need a helping hand. Many of our messages remind people that God loves them and to think joyful thoughts. Being a part of the Madison and SVMS communities make us feel very fortunate. We know how lucky we are to have everything we need, like a house, food, toys, books, families, love, and joy. We want the same for everyone else, so we will make sure we continue to give back to others.
Saint Teresa of Calcutta said that if we pray, we will believe. If we believe, we will love. If we love, we will serve. We do community service because we know we follow God by showing love to those in need. Hopefully, other kids like us do the same to make our world a better place. Thank you.
Well done. Great job. Not only for the food you collected to help those, but just as importantly, coming here tonight is not easy. It took me many years to be comfortable up there in that chair, and you came up here and spoke to not only everyone out in the audience, but now I'm going to tell you that you're going to be on Cablevision and on Fios as we rerun our shows, and this council meeting will be on Rosenet later this week. So you're helping raise awareness, and you did it so well. I'd like to bring our Brownie Troop leaders up here to join me because they deserve a great hand. So we have patches too. Are they here? Oh, they're up here. Sorry. So I'm going to put you on the spot. We got to see if the audience out here thinks you have earned your community patch. Do you think they've earned their community patch? Oh, yes. Ella Alaka. Well done. Cassandra Besties. Sorry. Madeline Carell. Ava Clark. Oh, right there. Charlotte Donnelly. There you go, Charlotte. Hannah Finger. Hannah, well done. Shannon Hovkovsky. Well done. Ellie Jessen. Charlotte Cretton. Charlotte, well done. Nora Mannion. Claire Palumbo. There you go, Claire. Isla Sojay. Sojay, sorry, I should have been listening when you introduced yourself. Mayor needs to practice these things. If you watch more of these meetings, you'll see that I have trouble with big words. Juliana Sierra. Charlotte Striffler. Charlotte. Ileana Yusuf. I got everyone? Congratulations, well done. Thank you for coming to the council meeting. And in a few minutes, we're going to be introducing the budget. So if you really want to, if you want to earn your municipal fiscal management patch, you can stay for that.
Around?
Okay, thank you. Great job.
You go. Have a good evening.
Go to bed.
How many people will stay?
Why did they have a half day? Madison, elementary, middle school, I have this too. Today is
Half day tomorrow too. So.
I'm sorry, what?
Half day tomorrow too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, I'm not in that loop anymore. I just certainly notice large groups of children walking around town.
All right, may I have a motion for the executive minutes of February 25th, 2019, and the executive minutes of March 11th, 2019?
So moved.
Second.
It's already been discussed. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
A motion for the regular minutes of February 25th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
A motion for the special budget meeting of March 4th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion for the regular minutes of March 11th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Welcome all. That was certainly a very special way to start a meeting, and reminds us why we put in all volunteer hours up here as a mayor and council. That it's for that generation coming up, because we'll be in good hands. Couple of things that's happened over the last 2 weeks. I just want to comment on the Green Vision Forum, which was on March 14th, hosted by the Environmental Commission, the second annual. And we saw presentations, as in last year, from the 3 elementary schools, MJS, MHS, and Drew. And they all did a tremendous job. And I want to highlight, somewhat inspired by the presentations, including a There was a great little book handed out, mini book by a Torrey J student that told the sad story of the plastic straw. So I think it hopefully will be on Amazon shortly, but it's well worth the read. But we do have along those lines in our consent resolutions is a resolution supporting the Environment Commission on the reducing the use of single-use plastic bags. I personally am looking forward to statewide action on plastic bags, but in the meantime, have pledged to work with our neighboring municipalities with reducing the proliferation of plastic in our rubbish stream and literally in our water streams. And this resolution is just kind of serves as a reminder to our residents to have reusable bags at the ready. And it also asks merchants to ask before they bag. Nothing drives me more crazy than to go in a store and buy a single item, and before I say something, it's thrown in a plastic bag and I have to hand it back to them. So we'll have a campaign to educate all the merchants, and hopefully we can make a little difference in our corner right here. And I assume we'll also, under community affairs, hear about the Taste of Madison, but I'll just a quick little shout out that it was once again an amazing event showing off our great restaurants. As I put John on the spot on that one. And also, before I come down for another proclamation, I want to give you an update on housing, the affordable housing, as I pledged early this year to, on a regular basis, provide an update. We now have a new judge handling our affordable housing litigation, as Judge Marilyn Neergaard recently retired and has been replaced by Judge Michael Gauss. And last week we had our first case management conference with Judge Gauss, which served one as an introduction to the new judge and also an update to him, Fair Share Housing, as well as Special Master, bringing him up to date on our progress. And the call went very well. Another case management conference has been set for April 16th. And as a reminder, the borough continues to have immunity from litigation from developers that would want to disregard our zoning laws and build very dense populations. We have that immunity until May 3rd. And all our work is being led by a professional team, including planners Dr. Susan Blickstein, Beth McManus, our attorney Greg Castano, working closely with our dedicated volunteers up here. Our council put in endless hours and our executive staff, Ray and Jim, as we work to get the best possible result for Madison and the community as we meet our obligation and do the best for Madison, as I just said. And now I'm going to come down for a proclamation. Understand we have some international students from Drew University. Come on up.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Move around a little bit.
Have come over.
Fit you all in.
Hit you on the camera. Somebody stay on that side. I'll be in the middle here. We often talk about what a important part of our community Drew University is, and bringing international students into Madison as part of the university, helping us with international understanding and awareness is so important. So it's a pleasure to have the crew here. I got to meet some of you at a gathering for ice cream on probably the coldest night of the year, but the ice cream didn't melt, so that was good. And so this is a very special time. So in recognition of Drew University's international student community, whereas located in Madison on a wooded 186-acre campus and nicknamed the University in the Forest, Drew University is a coeducational private university consisting of 3 degree-granting schools, namely the College of Liberal Arts, Drew University Theological School, and the Casperin School of Graduate Studies. And whereas making it 22 years older than the Borough of Madison, Drew University was founded over 250 years ago in 1867, 250 years ago. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we'll fix that a little bit, yeah. Our accountant didn't write the, by financier and railroad, that's these big words, and railroad tycoon Daniel Drew as theological seminary offering professional training to candidates for Christian ministry. And whereas since its founding, Drew has offered cultural activities to the greater Madison community, most recently including world-class lectures from international leaders such as Joe Biden, Condoleezza Rice, as well as music and theater, and the Drew TEDx series, which happens to be this Saturday. So check that out. And whereas Drew offers many programs to support international studies, including language programs and a 2-year pathway program for students who want to combine language study, academic skills development, and college coursework. And whereas Drew International Student and Scholar Services Program currently supports 414 international students from 54 countries. Again, 414 students from 54 countries. These students help deepen Madison's understanding of different cultures and viewpoints by being part of the community and by participating in the Family Friendship Program, which we encourage those to sign up for. Now, therefore, I, Robert H. Conley, on behalf of the governing body, do hereby welcome Drew's international students to the Borough of Madison and thank them and the Drew International Student and Scholar Services for their dedication towards cultural enrichment for making Madison a better place. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to start down here with the microphone. If you can introduce yourself and the country you come from and pass it down, and then we'll finish at the end with a staff who can talk a little bit about the program.
Hi, my name is Jason. I'm from China, and my Chinese name is Tichang, if you prefer this one.
My name is Azik Mirza. I'm from Nepal, and I'm really happy to be here in Madison, city as beautiful as Madison and university as good as Drew University.
My name is Joseph Obonyo. I'm from Kenya.
My name is Min Jae. I'm from Korea.
My name is Young Tae Kim. I'm from South Korea, Seoul, and I love Madison.
Hey everyone, my name is Xiping. I'm from China.
Hi everyone, I'm Delbert. I come from Indonesia, and I'm very honored and pleased to be standing right here in front of all these honorable people. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ricardo. I come from China.
Hello everyone, I'm Sandro Mamatashvili. I am from Georgia, Republic of Georgia, not state.
Hi, my name is Yuki. I'm from Japan. Thank you.
I'm Kai Tang Hu. I'm from China.
My name is Max Zhang, and I'm a staff member at the International Student Center at Drew, and I'm also from China.
Hi, I'm Eliza. I'm also a staff member at Into Drew, and I'm from the U.S.
Hey everyone, I'm Charlie Xu. I'm a professor at economics at Drew University. I'm also from China.
Why don't you come up to the middle here so I can hand you the proclamation, Max?
And thanks, Mayor Bob, and also thanks to all the council members and the residents of Madison. I just really, we're just really happy to be able to come here today. And I just wanted to thank you guys, all of you, for your hospitality. Without your hospitality, we would have never been able to establish a wonderful program such as the Family Friendship Program, which Mayor brought up. And we at Drew University view all our international students' little treasure boxes full of the essence of their home culture. And we wish to continue to work with residents of Madison and also the borough to not only teach our wonderful international students the culture of America, but also at the same time bring the cultures from all over the world to our local community. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and you're also welcome to stay for the budget introduction.
Run.
Pass the stage. Okay, reports from committees. Public safety. Council President Bailey.
Thank you, Mayor. From the Police Department, Patrolman Clancy satisfied all the requirements of the Madison Police Field Training Program and is now on solo patrol. He will be filling a staffing vacancy within the patrol division. The Madison Police Department is seeking the public's assistance regarding a criminal mischief incident that began on March 14th. Unknown actors have spray painted graffiti in approximately 18 locations using various colors throughout the town over the course of 2 or 3 days. Anyone with information may receive a $1,000 reward through the Morris County Crime Stoppers program. Anyone having information is asked to contact the Madison Police Detective Adam Riley at 973-593-3014 or the Morris County Crime Stoppers at 973-267-2255. Today at 1:30 p.m., the Madison Police Department and the Madison Board of Education presented the Every 15 Minutes program to students at the Madison High School. Police have taken this opportunity to educate Madison High School students about the consequences of impaired and distracted driving in a dramatic and realistic fashion. Every 15 minutes is designed to instill the potentially dangerous consequences of drinking alcohol among all teenagers. While primarily targeted towards preventing alcohol-related traffic injuries and fatalities, the program is also designed to challenge students to think about drinking, personal safety, and the responsibility of making mature decisions when lives are involved. Chief Datchison would like to thank the following for their assistance with this program: the Madison Fire Department, the Madison Volunteer Ambulance Corps, the Madison Department of Public Works, Atlantic Health, DeFalco's Towing, radio station WDHA, as well as the School Resource Officer Vincent Galgano, School Resource Officer Thomas Downs, and Corporal Bart Glab, who devoted an enormous amount of time to pulling this program together. And then from the fire department, on Monday, March 18th, the fire department responded to a garbage truck on fire in the rear of 42 Park Avenue. And on Saturday, March 23rd at 9:45 p.m., the fire department responded to a brush fire in the area of 245 Madison Avenue. And it was construction debris along the fence that caught fire, and it was quickly extinguished. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Finance and Borough Clerk, Mrs. Vitale.
Thank you, Mayor. From the clerk's office, this is a reminder. In anticipation of the June 4th primary election, the filing deadline for nomination petitions for municipal office is April 1st, 2019. Forms are available in the Borough Clerk's office and also with voter registration forms, as well as the mail-in ballot applications are also available. So if you can't find them there, you can go online to morriselections.org. From the Finance Department, tonight we're going to introduce the 2019 budget. The process started way back in November, and since then we've talked about bonding for the sewage treatment plant, the 5-year capital plan, open space trust fund, the performance of the electric and water utility, and their capital needs. We talk about, we started this process, but the administration started this process as early as July with all the department heads. So it's been a long process. The governing body also met with the various department heads here in the public a couple of weeks ago to talk about their operating budgets and their capital needs. Finally, we reviewed our surplus balances, strategic planning guidelines, and the alternate budget format. This has been a very transparent process with all of these conversations out in the public and where presidents had the opportunity to make comments to council and review the numbers. It's all on Rosenet. I think this is a great budget. It includes a 0% tax increase for existing properties. It includes $6.3 million in capital improvements and critical infrastructure. It also includes increasing the electric dividend to $2 million. That is money back to the pocket for every utility customer. This budget includes a number of other important points that our Chief Financial Officer will present in a few minutes. On a personal note, I'd like to say thank you to Jim Burnett. He's worked very, very hard on this budget, and he's given us a great deal of information and a great deal of understanding of what this budget is actually like. So thank you to Ray Foodie, who has worked very hard, the department heads who have been extraordinary and doing really very, very well for this town. So I'd like to say thank you to them. Appreciate it. That's all.
Thank you. Utilities, Mr. Rowe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, from the electric department, they've been performing preventative maintenance at the James Park substation to ensure that our distribution network experiences minimal interruptions of service. Pardon me. On Saturday, March 16th, the windstorm caused an outage on Lewannica Way. The power there was restored, though, within 2 hours. And finally, by the end of the week, next week rather, the new Atlantic Healthcare building at Geralda Farms will be energized. And from the water department, on Saturday, March 23rd, the department hosted a tour of the water facility for Drew Professor Peretti and her Water, A Measure of Human Ingenuity and Vulnerability class. And finally, the new 8-inch water main on Green Ave that stretches from John Marshall Lane to West End Ave has been installed by the contractor. The water department has charged that line and is awaiting for the results of the bacteria testing before they pressure test it. Once that's done, they'll begin changing house services from the old to the new main, and they expect this should be completed within the next few weeks. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Public Works and Engineering, Ms. Byrne.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to point out that Girl Scouts celebrated their 107th birthday on March 12th. 18 girls in Savannah, Georgia, got together with Juliet Lowe a long time before they got the vote, and they've been churning out leaders ever since. So from the Madison Environmental Committee, they have a meeting Thursday night at 7:30. The Green Village, as the mayor said, was a great success, and Madison is hosting a presentation on single-use plastics in cooperation with the Chathams and Summit. We are going to be looking to see if there's any way, if we combine our efforts, we can get a better grasp of the situation. Stop and Shop has signs up now, hopefully you've seen them, reminding people as they come into the store, do you have your bag? I know in my case, I usually don't remember that I have a bag until I'm well through the produce section, so hopefully these signs will work to jog my memory as well. And from engineering, the roads improvement bid is opening on March 28th, and the bid for the community place will begin on the 4th of April. Water main work is being done. The Grove Street water main, which will be about 1,750 feet, that bid opens on May 6th. Sewer lining on Park, Pine, Rose, and Beach. The specs are completed, and the bid opening will be at the end of May. Tomorrow night at the Chase Room at the Madison Public Library, there's going to be a presentation on climate change put on by the Garden Club of Madison and the Friends of the Madison Shade Tree. So if you can, it starts at 7 p.m. and it should be pretty interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Community Affairs, Mr. Hoover.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for the introduction about the Taste of Madison as well. Let me start off. I usually start off talking about seniors because I think seniors ought to be at the top of everybody's mind in this community. But let me start off with the Downtown Development Commission. Taste of Madison was absolutely fabulous. It was held at the Brook Country Club. There were 30 food vendors and wine and beer and other alcohol that you could not possibly put a limit on. I don't know the financial results yet. I do know that I sold the 50-50 winning 50-50 ticket to Tom Harrell and Putis, and he gave half of that back to Taste for the benefit. So that's really great. May Day is scheduled for Saturday. By the way, thank everybody for participating, for contributing. Thank the volunteers, the staff, everybody that was involved in it was just fabulous. May Day is scheduled for Saturday, May 4th. Sponsorship and volunteer information has been sent out, and the student art contest has concluded, and a winner will be chosen shortly. Madison's Into Yellow program, I'll talk a little bit more about other things related to that in a minute, has been fully planned and programmed. The event will kick off on May Day and conclude on May 11th with a community picnic. For more information is available at intoyellow.com/Madison. The DDC is planning a new event to be called the Rose City Summerfest. It is scheduled for June 15th, and more details will be released shortly. Planning is underway for the Madison Farmers Market. Contracts have been sent to last year's vendors, and new vendors are being contacted to fill openings. The market will return to Central Avenue between Cook and Main and will run from Thursday, May 23rd through October 24th. The hours will remain the same at 2 to 7. Please stop by and say hi. The DDC is currently working on revising their bylaws and will be bringing necessary changes and to an ordinance once the process is completed. The Chamber of Commerce updated Madison loyalty reward cards will be available by the beginning of April. Upcoming events, monthly networking breakfast is Tuesday, April 9th at 7:45 a.m. Much too early for me. Easter Fun Fest is Saturday, April 13th. Ladies' Night is Thursday, May 9th. And the annual awards dinner is Tuesday, June 4th at the Brook Lake Country Club. For the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee, the next meeting is Thursday, April 11th at 2 p.m. in the Senior Center. Everybody is invited to attend. It's an open public meeting. Work is beginning on establishing a, quote, daily senior calling program for selected Madison seniors. Research is underway for this perceived need, and they're working closely with the Thursday Morning Club. Farmers Market collaboration for a table that will allow a wider group of Madison groups to have their programs and literature displayed at the market is underway. Pooling of volunteers across organizations will be done by the Tri-Town 55 Plus, along with other groups such as the library, the museum, the Thursday Morning Club, the Senior Center, etc. We will focus on areas to get traction for the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee as we continue to work to get more volunteers. The Senior Center. If I read all of the activities that I was given, it would take us the rest of the meeting. So would you please look at the Senior Center newsletter called Madison Senior Services for all the services. Let me just highlight a couple. There's been a new monitor has been installed in the library that shows larger, more legible, and clearer information at the Senior Center and other departments. And 2 other large monitors are now fully installed in the great room upstairs for big movie events, presentations, and the news. The annual volunteer spring luncheon is going to be on Wednesday, April 17th at noon. Everybody in the public is invited to attend to thank the volunteers for their time and dedication to seniors. On Monday, April 22nd, the Senior Center is hosting a Madison Into Yellow project where people can sign up to paint their own flower and write messages about what Madison is a great place to live in and why it is. And we will receive 19 pieces and need 19 people to make it a success. A day, by the way, St. Vincent's is doing the same thing. They're going to have a day of painting flowers as well. A day of service will be held on Friday, May 24th. Students and teachers will be fanning out around the town between the hours of 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. to help seniors with tasks around the house or property. Pre-registration is required. Suggested chores include painting, weeding, raking, picking up branches, trimming, setting up outdoor furniture, moving furniture, cleaning windows, dusting, and vacuuming. And that's all, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And Health, Ms. Cohen.
Thank you, Mayor. The Madison Health Department is sponsoring health screenings for both men and women. The women's health screening is Monday, April 29th, and the men's screening is Monday, May 6th. Please call for an appointment and further details. The Madison Health Department was recently audited by the New Jersey Department of Health and is in substantial compliance with the performance standards for local health departments. The local health report for 2018 is available at the Health Department and on rosenet.org's Health Department page. The report summarizes activities of all facets of the Madison Health Department, from administrative, environmental, nursing, and health education. The Board of Health reviewed information regarding a movement by the Humane Society to ban puppy mills, which you'll be hearing a little bit more about in a few minutes here. And finally, the Board of Health is also looking into updating the borough codes concerning smoking and vaping and their enforcement. This will be collaborating with the Board of Education to address the issues in the school system as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move on to the introduction of the 2019 budget and tax resolution R104 2019. And I call up the Cap Bank Ordinance 8 2019 for first reading. Ask the Borough Clerk to read said ordinance by title.
Ordinance 8, 2019, calendar year 2019 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limit and to establish a cap bank.
Mayor, I move ordinance 8-2019.
Second.
Council discussion. And we'll get the CFO to step up. And
thank you, Mayor. We can talk about the budget introduction when we do resolution 104 2019, but right now we'll just talk about ordinance 8. Ordinance 8 is a ministerial ordinance that we've done every year. It allows us, by doing this, by passing this ordinance, to allow us to cap additional capacity in our appropriations down the road in case we needed to, for whatever reason, increase our appropriations down the road beyond the standard 2.5% or 3.5% allows us to cap it. So it's a ministerial ordinance. We've done it multiple times. It's in accordance with New Jersey statutes annotated 40A :4-4514. If anybody wants to look that up, they're welcome to, or I'm happy to sit down and talk to them about that. But it's, as I said, a ministerial process that's important for us to give us the flexibility down the road.
Pat?
Just one quick question. It says here, I believe it says we're increasing the cap by $198,000.
Correct.
What do we currently have in the cap bank, and how much are we going to have after we add this?
I'm going to have Val come up here, and we'll flip through it here. What page is that on, Val? I don't have it here in front of me. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Oh, you got it right there.
Right here. You currently have $567,305 as the cap bank from 2017, and you have $621,719 from 2018. And at the end of this year, the 17 cap will fall off and the 19 will replace.
Okay.
Once you pass the ordinance, the 19 will replace.
So, quick question. Why is the amount of the cap bank increase this year so small? Because we're only going with a 0% increase.
Because it's actually based on 2% of the appropriations of last year. The way the cap bank is structured is the cost of living adjustment is 2.5% of the actual appropriations that were in the budget of last year, and those appropriations were $19,802,119, which then those were the actual appropriations minus some things that are outside the cap. So it's the true inside cap appropriations.
You're talking about the taxing side. We're talking about the spending side.
Oh, I understand that. Okay.
So then the differential is between what you had in the budget last year and the difference between 2.5 this year, and I think it was 2.5 also last year.
And for example, this year we have a 0% tax increase. The budget is going up by 2.16%. So this cap deals with the budget side, the appropriations.
Okay. That's right.
And just as a form of introduction for those in the audience and those watching at home, Val Dolan from Nivasaccia, who is our auditor. Thank you, Val, for excellent.
Thank you for the answer.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Well, let's do your presentation, and then we'll do the introduction of the resolution. So.
Okay, Mayor, I'm going to give a short presentation, which is really a recap of what we discussed at the special budget hearing that we had earlier in the month. As Councilwoman Vitale stated, full transparency in regard to this budget. All of the presentations are online. All of the discussions that have been recorded are online. You can find them under the annual budget process page on Rosenet. And there's a little marker right there. Home Departments, Finance Department, annual budget process. The budget schedule Carmela ran through already. We've had a number of meetings starting in November, leading up to tonight to the introduction. It's important that we introduce tonight and that we have an adoption in April so that we comply with the best practices checklist and with the schedule that the state has mandated for us. As mentioned by Councilwoman Vitale, there's a 0% tax increase on existing properties, on existing ratables. If you put an addition on your house, tax is going to go up because you have additional value to that property. But if you didn't do anything to your house between last year and this year, there's no change in your assessed value, then your municipal portion will go up by 0%. The school board, we now know, will go up by 2.5%, their budget. So that will have an impact on your taxes, and the county is also going to be going up as well. But from the municipal standpoint, what can be controlled by this governing body is a 0% tax increase. It includes $6.3 million in capital improvements and critical infrastructure. And over a certain number of years, that's $28 million in capital over 5 years that the council has committed to roads, utilities, critical infrastructure, and needed equipment. The budget also includes a $2 million electric utility dividend, an increase from $1.5 million to $2 million. That is a rate adjustment, as the mayor would say, and it is a reduction in everyone's electric utility. It shows as a separate line, electric bill. It shows as a separate line on your utility bill. There is also a targeted rebate for income eligible residents as well. The budget also includes a moderate and manageable 2.6% increase on the appropriations side. So we were just talking about the difference between the revenue side and the appropriation side. The spending side is going up by a manageable 2.16%. The GVR property is the bottom line reason why there's a 0% tax increase, because we anticipate recurring revenue from the GVR property over this year and the coming years. That revenue is paying for the tax increase. That's how we have the budget increasing by 2%, but the property tax is not increasing at all. So that's, I think, a good thing. Other than that, in addition to those points, there's a reduced reliance on the electric utility surplus used in the operating budget of over $300,000. There's no change in the level of service to residents on anything. Any services you received in 2018, you'll continue to receive in 2019. There's no change in the water utility rates, and that's 10 years in a row where we've had no change in the water utility rates. There's extra funds in this budget for grass field maintenance, extra funds to replace 2 public works employees, and money reserved for MRC turf reskinning, and the commitment to explore an additional turf field with the Board of Education. I'm not going to go through the numbers except to say that these numbers here are reflected in this beautiful 60-page, somewhat confusing state budget document. Happy to talk with anyone about it. I think it's a little bit easier to review the documents that we talk about here in the council chamber with the municipal surplus, the municipal budget, and the different changes that are reflected here that have been talked about previously. The electric utility, which has both, this schedule has both the operations and the surplus generated from the electric utility, and the water utility, same situation, the actual operations and expenses of the water utility, and then the change in surplus. So with that, I will, and a new photo of the mayor and council, which we got last council meeting.
So what we'll do now is questions for Jim, because discussion will happen after we move the resolution. And then we'll ask our auditor to step up and give her view on the overall budget. Any questions for Jim?
May I be excused from that?
Yep. That was a question for the mayor, so that's okay, though. Okay, Val?
All right, I just wanted to say a couple of things about the budget this year. Having worked with many municipalities and many things that we do throughout our offices, Madison is in a financial position that most of our clients wish they were in. So when I looked at this budget and when I got this budget after all your hard work was done, I was thoroughly impressed with the way that this budget was put together. It is a very fiscally sound budget. It took advantage of some additional revenue sources that the township is now, that the borough is bringing in. And in addition, you also had a very good 2018. And as a result, you were able to take that additional funds that you were able to generate in 18 and put it back into this budget so that you could see, as Jim said, that there was still an expenses, you still had an increase in expenses, and you could do all of that without changing anything and bringing this tax levy at the local share into a flat. One of the things that I see when I hear all of the things that you all have been doing and all of the things is it is a very transparent process. It very much is. Not all towns operate in this manner, and you should be commended for the way in which you operate. The other piece that when we looked at this budget and I looked at the things that you had in discussions, I was very impressed with the things that you were really focusing on. You were focusing on the big picture items, the fiscal planning. You weren't getting lost in the details of what's in the appropriations. So many times we have towns that get lost in the details and forget to look at the big picture and where you're at. Some actually we've taken, because this has been a procedure that Madison has been doing for many years, that we actually use Madison sometimes as our guideline for some other towns when they are struggling. Here, set some of these policies, set some of these plans in place, and you will strengthen your own financials. This budget tonight that's presented is approximately 1.338 below the appropriations cap, which means you could have added way more than your 2% and still been allowable within the appropriations, and you chose not to. You were also $514,000, $552,000 below the tax levy cap, obviously, because you didn't take a tax increase. And that is all done without even using the monies that you've been banking. So as I see in this budget, there is nothing, when you see a budget, sometimes our auditors, we get nervous when we start to see things flat or not growing. We get nervous. I look at this budget and see nothing that's going to cause any future budgets to be in any form of jeopardy for the borough. This is a very strong, well-written budget, and a strong financial position is presented.
Any questions for Ms. Dolan?
One quick question. You mentioned, we talked about the big picture, and one of the issues I raised this year was the surplus. When you talk to towns, do you typically talk about a range that you expect them to be within so that they have not too much and not too little?
Yes,
do you
what
have
we've
guidelines
always
for that?
suggested is what we've always worked with is to try to build what they feel is a fund balance plan where we want to stay, so that for the future you run in a number, and there are years when the numbers dip up and down, but we always suggest that is a good strategy to utilize, is to develop what you feel is a number that you can live with, because really the fund balance is there just to the rainy day in case something were to happen, but at the same time you don't want to overtax to just build up surpluses. So we do suggest that you have a plan and a true resolution passed. We have many towns that do actually have a true.
So for people who are trying to build one, do you have best practices that you can recommend to us that we can use? Because we're going to start on that process very shortly.
Yes, Jim and I actually talked. I was going to give him a few suggestions of things that we have seen where it's really, a lot of it tags with not only, obviously, you want to maintain the services and you want to be able to go with your employees, but you also want to, really a big heavy piece is capital and debt management. When you look at those two pieces and where you really want to be 5 years, 10 years out, that's how you help develop that fund balance picture.
Okay. Thank you. I look forward to seeing those.
Yep.
And along those lines, under new business, I'll be appointing a committee as reflective of the discussion we had at the last council meeting and this discussion right now to look at our policy around surplus and our planning.
Perfect.
So I'm sure you'll be getting some phone calls on it.
I'm sure I will.
Thank you.
All right, will the clerk please read the statement?
Upon introduction and adoption, the 2019 budget and tax resolution will be published in summary in the Madison Eagle on March the 28th, 2019, with a public hearing date set for Monday, April the 22nd, 2019, at 8 p.m. in the council chamber of the Hartley Dodge Memorial at which time and place all interested individuals will have an opportunity to be heard, and there will be consideration for final adoption. A copy of the budget as introduced will be filed in the Madison Public Library and the County Library Public View.
You have a motion for Resolution 104, resolution of the Borough of Madison adopting the 2019 budget and tax resolution.
Mayor, I move Resolution 104-2019.
Second.
Council discussion. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Cohen?
Yes.
Okay, communications and petitions.
Mayor and council received petitions on March the 22nd, 2019 from Sandy Kolakowski of Park Avenue regarding the Lincoln Place movie theater.
Thank you. And now we're on to invitation for discussion. This is the first of two. This one's limited to the agenda discussions and the resolutions. And so the items you may discuss, and if you want to decide to speak at this section, you step up, state your name, your address, and the topic. There'll be another open discussion shortly, but right now you can talk about pet shop kennel regulations, which is our agenda discussion tonight, or the resolutions, which I will go through so you know what they're in there. The one that's not in the consent is the one that was just passed on the introduction of the budget. Others are 105, which is changing the date for the Rotary Club shredding from April 20th to April 6th. 106, which is authorizing the Madison Chamber of Commerce event on Waverly Place for April 13th, which is their annual Easter egg hunt, and that's from 11 to 12:30. Resolution 107, which is ratifying action taken at a joint meeting, which was up against a Taste of Madison, so we did not have a quorum. So tonight we'll be ratifying the regular minutes, the approval of the financial report, the approval of Resolution 1930, which 19-30, which is true up for Madison Chatham, and approval of Resolution 1932, which is billing Chatham Township for 34 connections. Resolution 108, to encourage the reduction of use of single-use plastic bags and for recyclable bags, paper bags to be used. And as I said, to have encouraged people to ask before bagging. Resolution 109, which is approving the contract to Alpine Consulting for accuscan for document scanning and archive services under the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey. And this is funds are available of $19,860 in engineering budget for this year. Resolution 110 is cancellation for interest of real property tax payment. This was due to a lost FedEx delivery, and so we're canceling the interest that accrued on that one. Resolution 111, 2019, which is use of $7,130 in municipal open space for assessment of interior walls and ceiling and paint in the historic James Building, which is the Museum of Early Trades and Crafts, and this is there's been a 20% match from the museum. The Resolution 112, which is confirming the membership of Santiago Lopez for Madison Hose Company Number 1, and Thomas Johnson and Brian Brinkowski in Madison Hook and Ladder Company 1. Those are volunteers. Resolution 113, approving temporary signs for the Arts Council of Morris area for the 36th annual Giralda Farms concert featuring the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra on Giralda Corporate Park. And Resolution 114, authorizing a shared service agreement for Special Officer 2 with the Madison Board of Education. This is an officer that has been assigned to the junior school all the school year. And Resolution 115, resolution authorizing the appointment of Jessica Nick to the position of substitute crossing guard at the salary as stated in the ordinance for crossing guards. Resolution 116, awarding contract to Rich Tree Services of South Plainfield Electric Line Clearance. This was passed at the last resolution. This is last meeting. This is an update since as a review of the budget line is going to require $73,000 as opposed to the initially approved $63,000. Resolution 117, preventive maintenance repair of HVAC equipment bid to Air Systems Inc. of Kenilworth. And this is the amount of $14,110 and $85 an hour for emergency services, and these funds are available in the Public Works operating budget. So those are the consent agenda. So those are items you may comment on now. If you want to comment on any of those, please step up to the lectern. Anyone wishing to comment, please step forward. Yes?
Hi.
Should he wait?
He should wait.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. You're expert witness on the discussion. Anyone else wishing to comment? Seeing none, I close this part of the meeting, and now we go on to agenda discussions. And Deb Cohen, this is your agenda rec, so I'll let you introduce it and introduce our expert.
So this came to the Board of Health through Mr. Larry Cohen from the Humane Society about banning an ordinance to ban puppy mills in town, stores selling animals, dogs from puppy mills, and he's going to talk more about where it stems from. It has the full support of the Board of Health, but the ordinance is actually a borough ordinance. I believe it's number 59, so we have to amend it to prevent the sale. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Cohen, who has all of the details for that.
Hi, Larry Cohen. I live in Fanwood, but I'm a volunteer for the Humane Society of the United States. Puppy-selling pet stores will tell you that they cannot deal with puppy mills because by New Jersey law, their breeders must be licensed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The second part of that statement is true. I'm here to talk about the first part of that statement. A breeder in Hardy, Arkansas, who has done business with at least 3 pet stores in New Jersey, is a 3-time member of the Humane Society's 100 Worst Breeders in the United States. And on one of her USDA inspection reports, this notation was on there. We noticed a Pomeranian who did not have any teeth, and the jawbone on the left side was partially missing and detached from the gums, leaving the bone exposed. A breeder, a USDA licensed breeder from Rock Valley, Iowa, who has done business with at least 5 pet stores in New Jersey, had this on her USDA inspection report. The breeder listed gunshot in brain at close range as a routine method of euthanasia on the facility's official program of veterinary care. These are not isolated incidents of abuse, routinely tolerated by federal inspectors, state lawmakers, and New Jersey pet store owners. In fact, USDA breeders who do business in New Jersey and follow federal law can do things like imprison their dogs in cages 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and kill their unwanted animals that would land you or I in jail for animal cruelty. You can follow one of 2 paths in response to this. You can ignore the resolution you've already had on the books for 2.5 years now and condone this behavior, endorse it really, because the federally licensed puppy mills we're talking about are half a country away in places like Iowa and Missouri and Arkansas. And you can try and figure out how to deal with it later if a puppy-selling pet store were to open in your town, like one did in East Hanover, only to be forcibly closed by that town at a taxpayer cost of over $90,000. Or you can take a different path, one that recognizes that this is not a Midwest issue, this is a cruelty issue. You can take the logical step and codify the resolution you already have on the books as your way of trying to help cut off this supply of these poor souls into our state. And in doing so, you will join 129 other municipalities in New Jersey, hundreds of towns and cities across the country, 2 states, California and Maryland, which have done this, and a nation, Great Britain, which has made this practice illegal. You can recognize that it's wholly possible to be a business-friendly community, welcoming all kinds of pet stores and services while saying through an ordinance that a business model that puts profit ahead of the welfare of animals is not welcome here. When the pet store industry tries to tell you that they are so well regulated and can't buy from puppy mills because their breeders are USDA licensed, remember these reports, which we have scores of, from USDA licensed breeders who have done business in New Jersey. And remember that these reports, which used to form the backbone of New Jersey regulatory law of these pet stores, have been censored by the very same USDA for over 2 years now. You can't get these reports now. So these stores cannot be checked, cannot be regulated in terms of who they're doing business with. I beg you to read the whereas clauses in your current resolution and your proposed ordinance. They're not just fluff or window dressing. They are the evidence that necessitates the passage of this ordinance.
And just two things that so people are aware, there's pet stores in Madison currently do not sell anything, and this would not affect adoption days that they did in conjunction with St. Hubert's or 11th Hour, I believe is the other one. They could still set those up and do those adoption days for dogs and cats without a problem. This is strictly for the selling of dogs, and if I remember correctly from what you told us at Board of Health, New Jersey does not have an ordinance that forbids this, which is how they can get the loophole around. So that's why they're asking the towns to support this and go this route.
Any questions for our expert?
So I believe you said there's nobody who currently sells pets or no one who sells pets?
Sells dogs.
Sells dogs.
Dogs
Okay.
and cats.
Okay.
So.
And I was interested. You said it cost the town $90,000. Was that just legal costs to enact their?
That was the legal fees. We happen to know the attorney in East Hanover, and he confirmed to us that their legal fees were in excess of $90,000.
So that was legal fees. They didn't have the ordinance in place, and it was legal fees to enforce.
They did not. They do now.
They do now. So,
I guess.
And then I guess my other question is for our attorney. I assume you guys have reviewed this. Does this create any problems of being overly broad in terms of what it bans?
No.
Okay.
This is consistent with other ordinances in the state, and I think that the goal here is that you're allowed to regulate to make sure that you don't have people buying puppies from a puppy mill because the expenses associated with that are extraordinary.
Okay.
I can speak from experience.
Thank you.
any other questions, comments?
My comment, I've owned a dog my entire life, and all of my dogs have come from shelters, and most of the time they've come from Virginia, West Virginia, they come to New Jersey. A dog is love, and we should extend that love back.
This is not anti-puppy mill dogs, and this is not anti-people who buy from a pet store. Most of the time unknowingly. This is simply an effort to right a terrible wrong that we feel ensnares too many unsuspecting people and far too many innocent animals.
Thank you. So this is Ordinance 11, 2019, which is listed for introduction. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. All right, moving up to ordinance for hearing. Will the clerk please read the statement?
Ordinances scheduled for hearing were introduced by title and passed on the first reading at the regular meeting of the council held February 25th, 2000. No, actually, they were on. My apologies. It was March 11th. These two ordinances were read and introduced. They were posted and filed according to law, and copies were made available to the general public requesting.
I call ordinances for second reading and ask the clerk to read said ordinance by title. Ordinance 6-2019.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $570,000 from the Water Capital Improvement Fund for the 2019 water utility mains, valves, and hydrants replacement projects and related work.
I open the hearing for Ordinance 6. Anyone wishing to comment, please step forward. Seeing none, I close the hearing.
Mayor, I move Ordinance 6-2019.
Second.
Any council discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
I said yes, sorry. Yeah,
It got static down.
Ms. Byrne?
died.
Yeah, she had a yes in there.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Yes.
Or, I declare ordinance 6-2019 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. Ordinance 7-2019.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending Chapter 94, Appendix A of the Borough Code entitled Electric Utility regarding net metering.
I open the hearing for ordinance 7. Anyone wishing to comment, please step forward. Seeing none, I close the hearing.
Mayor, I move ordinance 7-2019.
Second?
Any council discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Cullen?
Yes.
I declare ordinance 7-2019 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. And now we're on to the second invitation for discussion from the public. This is when you may comment on any topic. You remember to come up, state your name and your address, write the same on the clipboard. Try to keep your comments to 3 minutes, but I'll give you a 1-minute grace period and ask you to stop at 4 minutes. Anyone wishing to comment, please step forward. Sandy, come on up.
Hello, Sandy Kolakowski, 136 Park Avenue, Madison. The petition continues to grow. I wanted to bring in the extra signatures. I think that you have them in your package. I think we're over 2,100 now with the handwritten signatures and the ones that were online. And I just wanted to, I know that it's difficult because you can't really comment, and the borough attorney has said that you can't really speak about it, but it just seems so unfortunate to me that, in a year, especially when we have a nice surplus and the community is really seeking for the town to help preserve something that is very important to it, that we have this kind of weird situation where nobody can talk about it. But be that as it may, I just wanted to also share with you, I don't know if you've been reading the Star Ledger lately, but it seems that, communities have been doing things recently. And just this weekend, there was a big article about the bond that West Orange is doing to preserve some of its green open space as a protection against overdevelopment. And then a week ago, we had the Metuchen story where they're using the surplus from a transit-oriented village where they had gotten extra income, and they've decided to save their movie theater with that money at $1.3 million. So if I could do I distribute these?
Present that to the clerk. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks. Sandy, thank you for your comments, and thank you for your passion on the topic. Anyone else wishing to be heard, please step forward.
Rob Pratt, 25 Sherwood Avenue. Are you done? I maintain the Save Madison Theater website. Part of what I do is paste some of the petition comments into a ticker that runs on the homepage. I recommend you read the comments that many people are leaving about the theater. There are hundreds of them. We post many of them to the site because they are filled with hope and are a warm nostalgia about what this theater means to them and what they feel it means to the town. One can't help but smile when reading them. The theater is much more to them than an old building and some movies. People write about the need for a place for children to walk to, a rite of passage for kids, walking downtown with just their friends, seeing a movie, and grabbing ice cream at McCool's afterwards. The theater is a place where there's no contention or disagreements, but rather friends and neighbors bumping into each other, unplanned, as they see a movie with their family as well. It is about community. Some people even mention the existence of the theater as being one of the reasons they chose Madison as a place to live. I thought I was alone in such odd criterion. But there are also quite a number of comments that are sad and dispiriting, and some that are very angry. Those I specifically don't add to the site. People wonder what is happening to Madison. It isn't the town they recognize anymore. Many chose to live in Madison for the small town feel and its nostalgic downtown just as much as for its schools. It is a way of life they want their children to experience. As we hear talk about how these new condos help the vitality of a downtown, I'd like to quote something that was discussed here in Town Hall in a meeting this past summer. Experts say a combination of elements contribute to a successful downtown. A lively, bustling atmosphere with lots of people is a must, but what attracts the people? The formula includes retail and residential with lots of parking, nightlife that offers several places to eat and drink, combined with entertainment in the form of theaters and performing arts center is the key, experts say. Ironically, in the rush to bring apartments into downtown for the sake of supposed vitality to the town, we will be removing a key factor in what makes a downtown successful, the theater.
Thank you, Rob. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Yep, write your name if you didn't do that. Thank you. Seeing none, I close this part of the meeting and we move on to introduction of ordinances. Will the clerk please read the statement?
Ordinance is scheduled for first reading, have a hearing date set for April the 8th, 2019. All will be published in the Madison Eagle, posted on the bulletin board, and made available to members of the public requesting copies.
I call up ordinances for first reading and ask the Borough Clerk to read said ordinances by title.
Ordinance 9, 2019, ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $310,000 from the General Capital Improvement Fund for the 2019 sanitary sewer program.
Mayor, I move ordinance 9-2019.
Second.
Any council discussion? Roll call vote.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Cohen?
Yes.
Ordinance 10-2019.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending Chapter 195 of the Madison Borough Code Land Development Ordinance to amend Section 30.5B2, requirements for accessory structures and uses.
Mayor, I move ordinance 10-2019.
Second.
Council discussion. And this is a correction of an error, actually, so it's great.
Yeah.
Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
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 Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance 11-2019.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending and supplementing Chapter 59 of the Borough Code prohibiting the retail sale of certain dogs and cats in the borough.
Mayor, I move ordinance 11-2019.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance 12-2019.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending Chapter 190 of the Madison Borough Code entitled Water to update the water connection fee schedule.
Mayor, I move ordinance 12-2019.
Second.
Any council discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Cohen?
Yes.
Ordinance 13-2019.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending Chapter 155 of the Madison Borough Code entitled Sewer to update the sewer connection fee schedule.
Mayor, I move ordinance 13-2019.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Cohen?
Yes.
All right, will the clerk please read the consent agenda resolution?
Consent agenda resolutions will be enacted with a single motion. Any resolution requiring expenditure is supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any resolution requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. All resolutions will be reflected in full in the minutes.
So 107 needs to be revised? Or did we?
We amended.
We amended it, so we're okay, so, okay.
Okay,
As
so,
posted, yep.
Mayor, I move resolutions 105-2019 to R117-2019.
I'll second.
Any council discussion or any others, or any that need to be pulled? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Cohen?
Yes.
There is no unfinished business. And the approval of vouchers. Will the clerk please read the voucher register?
Vouchers, current fund, $3,682,797.15. General capital fund, $138,451.58. Electric operating fund, $708,601.59. Electric capital fund, $12,070.50. Water operating fund, $46,061.60. The water capital fund, $75,496.82. And the trust, $18,239.22. The total is $4,681,718.46.
Mayor, I move approval of the vouchers.
I'll second.
Any discussion or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Vitale?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne?
Yes.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Yes.
As mentioned before, under new business, I'd like to appoint the following committee to review our current status of surpluses and make a recommendation back to the full council. I have not talked directly with the chair as far as time frame, but we're looking at this as a fairly short time frame task force, so we'll report back within the next couple of months. And the appointments as follows: chair as the chair of finance, Carmela Vitale, and members: Pat Rowe as chair of utilities, Maureen Byrne as finance vice chair, and Ben Wolkowitz as our strategic planning guru. May I have a motion to appoint that committee?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mayor, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Fabulous.
Good.
Great meeting.
That's it.
Send a meeting request out?
The brownies were great. That was a...
Okay. I'm not going to be available.
Yeah, and that was for a third graders. That was a God bless America and a great.
They were all on two.
Yeah, generally. Anytime after 4.
Ben has the most.
Okay, yeah, whatever works for him.